Welcome back to the Nice Guy Show. I'm here with Michelle, Dr. Michelle, and Kathy. And
That's my name.
we were just, that's my name. We were just looking at Glamour and looking at some of this funny stuff in between. I get all these girly magazines. Is that weird? A little.
Kinda.
Just as long as I don't put them in the basket where the fruit was, right?
Right.
No, but I learned a lot about women here and men. So they did a survey. They were talking about whose butt's better, Kim Kardashian's or Pippa Middleton's.
Oh dear.
And Kim won.
Yeah.
I think it's too big. Anyway, it can be too big. All right, let's talk about publishing. You're actually considering, right? You wrote a book. I read.
Yeah, I wrote a book. It's called The Setup Man, and it's actually going through the publishing process. So I have questions for you because it sounds like you went more the self-publishing route. And
Yeah.
how'd you do it?
Well, first of all, we call it independent publishing
Okay.
because self-publishing sounds so cheesy. Like
Okay.
anyone can do it, and it's true. Anyone can publish a book, especially nowadays that you have the electronic readers. If you've got a concept in your head about anything, any story, any length almost, it can become a book relatively quickly, as long as you know the path there. Now, for me, it started with just my frustration and my venting online about my dating experiences after being divorced, which turned into essays, which turned into, maybe I should try to make a book out of these, collect like 6 months worth and create a book.
Well, and all the people who loved you were saying you need to write a book. You need to write a book.
Thank
And finally,
you.
you're
Yes.
like, okay, because it's good stuff.
Right. So using thank you, using Amazon services, there's one called CreateSpace, and CreateSpace is the company that will create a print-on-demand book, and that's kind of what this is. It's print-on-demand.
Okay.
So what they do, the traditional publishers will print big runs of books and spread them out to Borders and Barnes & Noble and all the big stores. But Amazon has a print-on-demand feature where they print these as they're ordered. So
Oh, that's smart.
right. So it's less expensive for the publisher, and more money gets back to the author.
So do you still get a 30% cut?
You get a cut. It's a smaller cut on print.
Okay.
Depends where you set the price at, and you also have freedom with that too.
Right.
So I think I had this one priced at $10.99, and I think I get $2 or $3 for every print version sold, depending on what channel it's
So
sold.
do you have to find your own editor, or does
Yeah.
Amazon supply you an editor?
Well, everything costs money.
Right.
The more you get other people involved, but. Yes, you absolutely have to have an editor. And there are two types of editors. You can have a regular editor who will read your work and suggest changes, deletions, weak areas of the story, things that you should move around possibly. And there's something called a copy editor who will just proofread your book basically. Now, you absolutely have to have at least a copy editor because everyone makes typos and grammar mistakes. I make a ton of them.
Right.
So you absolutely have to have that. Whether you need a full editor or not, it depends. Depends what you're writing. What I'm writing here is conversational. It's not educational. It might be for some people. So all I needed was a copy editor, and my editor is Linda All, and she's fantastic. She just catches every little thing, and it's almost embarrassing. Because I take a lot of pride in it. So when I hand my manuscript off to her, I'm like, this thing's clean. I'm not going to get any red marks on it.
Right.
And every page is full of blood, red marks. But so I've just learned to live with it. So the process for me normally goes, I spend 6 months writing these essays on random topics, mostly about dating and relationships. And then at the end of 6 months, I take those essays, combine them, and writing them, I usually write the Word software. And that has a lot of grammar checks built into it and spell checking, which helps you. And then I'll post the essays on my Blogspot account, so they go on the blog and I can get comments and feedback from readers. So then I take the Microsoft Word version of the book and I fire that off to the copy editor, and Linda goes for corrections, usually in which is another format, electronic format. So I'll get it back in a PDF format with circles and changes, suggestions, things I should change, and then I make those changes. And then after those changes are made, I have to save the book in what's called a HTML format. HTML is what format all the website pages are. So you save it in that format, and I have to strip out some of the encoding to get it into an electronic format, because that's where most of my sales come from. And it depends, like for an interior design book, you're probably going to get a lot more print sales than you would electronic, but who knows? I mean, the readers now are color, so you have the Kindle Fire, which is a color reader. So with a color reader, you get good pictures. It might be worthwhile to do it there.
Yeah, because color printing is so expensive,
Right.
you know?
And it does cost you more. When you go with CreateSpace, I have some images in each book, but they're black and white. So if you have images in the book, CreateSpace will charge you extra for every image you have.
Right.
because they have to, set up the images. Another option you have, though, and this is what I've done with this book, is I actually embedded the images myself and created a PDF, print-ready PDF for CreateSpace to publish. So I saved some money there. The other thing along the way, like in the case of getting this artwork done, I need to hire somebody to do it. A resource that I highly recommend is called Elance, elance.com. There are any type of electronic work you need done, there are people on Elance that can and will do it, and they're fantastic. And the cool thing is that they get ratings just like they would on eBay. So you can see the other work that they've done and how they've been rated with the work that they've
Do
done.
they like bid on your work too? Do
They
do
bid,
that?
yes. So you put a project out there and you'll get a dozen or more bids. You'll get some from Pakistan, from Russia, from US, everywhere, from all over the world. And you go through and you pick the one you want to work with, and then after you work with them, you pay them through the Elance system, so everything's taken care of. It's all the contracts, everything are there. And at the end you rate them and help them get other work, hopefully. And I think Anna Chastain did the images in this book. She did a great job. But every artist I've used has been great. Rebecca Shockley from Carlsbad. She's actually a bartender over at the Coyote Bar in Carlsbad. She did my first book, and she is just so talented. She's
Really?
amazing.
So talented.
Really cool person,
And so
too.
shy.
Yeah, she is. She's quiet and shy. But as far as like writing a book, the thing too is that with the electronic format, times have changed. So Kindle has this thing called, or Amazon has this thing called Kindle Singles. So your book, typically, paperback books are 200 to 400 pages. Electronic books don't need to be that long. They can be 20 pages,
Right.
or even a little bit less if need be. It's more about the content. So if you have, like, say you were going to tell the story about, your ordeal with cancer, and it doesn't have to be a 300-page book to publish it. It could be a, 20 or 30-page book of your experiences with it. And electronic books, you can sell anywhere from 99 cents on up. The way the electronic book royalty works is if your book is priced at $2.99 or higher, you get 70% of the royalty, which is really good. So like a $2.99 book is going to get you $2.10 basically profit.
Wow, really?
No, yeah. So now less than $2.99, you only get 35% of the royalty, but it's still good. So
Yeah.
what I recommend to people, especially if you're a new author, try to keep your books cheap, because more people, you want to get your book into a lot of people's hands. You want the exposure. So price your books cheaply. My first books are all like 99 cents right now. I usually price the latest release at $2.99 and the earlier books at 99 cents because I just want to get them out there.
Right.
Because that's what'll end up making you money in the end, is if people start picking up your books and liking them and word of mouth, telling other people, and they buy the books, and then that's what'll grow. As far as trying to get a traditional publisher, that's a struggle. I know you've had some experience with that, but it's really, really hard to break into that business, even now with all the electronic work and the self-publishing and independent publishing. To break into that business, you have to first of all find a literary agent. So, and I tried that route when I first started, and I sent queries out to, I would say, over 100 literary agents, and none of them bit. They were all like, we're too busy, or this isn't our genre, or the agents want the books that sell the most, which are the self-help books, religious books, and things like that, romance novels. If you write a romance novel, they'll soak you right up, kind of like what you have.
Well, and I think that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
Is it's like, I'm a young doctor, and then they were like, it's a romance novel, but it also had that like Eat, Pray, Love vibe, because there was like travel mixed in with this. I was dating a professional athlete, so the craziness of that, and it was just, I don't know. So they were just like, oh, wonderful. And then I'm a very spiritual person, and my father actually passed away unexpectedly last May, so it incorporated all of these different aspects of, just like craziness. So everyone was like, oh, we want it. Like, yeah.
Well, you're very fortunate. That's very, very rare, that case. I would venture to say out of 1,000 authors, maybe one or two might be lucky. It's very rare. Most literary agents won't even, if you don't have any history of selling tens of thousands of books, they don't want to talk to you. But you're going to need to get a literary agent because the publishers don't want to talk to anyone but a literary agent. So you have to go that route and then get the literary agent to pitch your work to a publisher and hopefully have the publisher pick you up. And unless you're a Stephen King or a really big author, even if you land with a publisher, they're not going to do a whole lot for you other than distribute your books. They're not going to promote you. They might, but it depends. Rarely. Usually it's on you. I mean, So that's why the independent route for me, I'm like, if it's going to be on me, then all right, then I know that. I'm not going to go through the stress of trying to get a publisher and have them tell me what to do and how to write. I'm going to do it myself. So
now I will say this: my publisher's through iUniverse, and I ended up typing in all these different.
well,
credentials.
iUniverse is independent publishing too. Yeah.
But what they do offer me, and I guess other authors, is you can have, I guess, different like packages. So they will like set up a website for you, and
But you pay for that.
yeah, but all I had to pay for, which I actually haven't set it up at all, was supposed to be my URL. And then I think the first year was free, and then to have it maintained, and at the level at which I wanted it maintained. But it still wasn't, exceeding $100 a month. I mean, it would be like $20 to have somebody like log in, check it out.
Yeah,
I mean, it does add up.
It
But
does, and again, I do a lot of my promotion right on Facebook because that's where most of my
sure.
fans, find me, Facebook and Twitter. But it's not free. You still have to promote. You
Yeah.
have to pay for advertising there.
What about like your blog?
On my blog
Blogs
too.
are
Yeah.
huge now.
Right, and that's where I recommend people start. If you're thinking about writing a book, start writing a blog first and start posting there and getting people to read your blog and get some feedback. And find your way there towards having a published book.
so
but-
where are all the places that you blog then?
I-
Twitter.
Well, yeah, I mean, I link to my blog from
Okay.
Twitter and from Facebook. I'll post random thoughts and comments on Twitter, because you're limited to 140 characters. On Facebook, I'll write my blog post and either post an excerpt there and link it, or post the whole post there. But then I do all my promotion through Facebook and Twitter and some other. I'll promote myself on other blogs too, and.
Yeah.
But it's nice having the control. But again, it's it's you. You don't have your publisher does not have your back.
Nobody's.
So
No, you're not.
yeah, it's all up to you. So well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I want to thank you guys for coming along. This segment went so fast.
It went
But
so fast.
Kathy, I hope you're feeling better, and it's so great to see you back. And Dr. Michelle, welcome back from Hawaii.
Thank
So good to have you back, and
Thank
and thank you for all your help with interior design. I will throw away my fruit. And thank you guys. We'll be back next Tuesday because Monday is a day off. It's a holiday. So we'll be back next Tuesday at 11 a.m. But normally it's Mondays at 11. Thank you for joining us. Take care.